Hey, friend, and welcome to Perfect Periods, the place where we discuss how to navigate different periods of life while perfecting our actual period. What, like it's hard? I'm your host, fertility awareness educator, Berri on Berri, but you can call me Berri. Here, you'll be educated, equipped, and empowered with all the tools, knowledge, and resources you need to master your cycle so you can master your life. Now grab your favorite beverage and maybe a notebook, and let's dive right on in. Hello, Flow Tribe. What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode. Today's episode is really 3 best practices for investing in your health confidently. And there have been so many things that have inspired this episode. I'll share a few. One has been a recent investment in my own health and wellness that I think I've shared it with you before, but there was some calculation that had to go into this investment. The second inspiration has been the countless conversations I'm having with you all who are really just frustrated with getting bits and pieces of information and advice from other places, but you're really afraid to actually invest in your health and invest in one person and one thing. And the last place has been coming from those of you who in the DMs, you just want my advice constantly, but then won't do anything with it. Like you won't implement it, or you want my advice, but you're afraid to take it. That hot and cold kind of person. That's who's inspired this episode. So with that being said, I'm going to share with you the 3 best practices for investing in your health confidently right now, and then I'm going to delve deeper into it. So the first best practice is to be clear about what it is you want and why it is you want it when it comes to this investment. That allows you to have a certain level of awareness about yourself and about where you're at in your wellness journey and kind of what you need. My second best practice for investing in your health confidently is to be intentional with the investment and taking action on whatever it is you are considering investing in or have invested in. And the third thing, y'all, the third thing is crazy. And what makes it crazy is the fact that you don't hear it enough, but it is to be realistic. Y'all, realism is really a lost art in these days and age. And listen, I love the whole be delusional trend, but when it comes to your health, please don't be delusional, okay? So with that being said, let's peel back these layers, right? The first one is to be clear about what you want and why you want it. The reason I say you need to be clear about what you want and why you want is because there's a lot of people who are asking their doctors for hormone panels, complete hormone panels, thyroid panels, blood work, all of these things, right? You're asking for it. And the why behind it sometimes is you want to know your baseline. However, often it's because you think there's some type of imbalance. And instead of trusting yourself, or instead of just aligning actions and habits, you have to know for a fact, I have an imbalance in order for you to behave as somebody who doesn't have an imbalance. And oftentimes when I am specifically going back and forth with you all in the DMs, I will ask you why it is you want something. And a lot of times it's because you are feeling like something is off. If you feel like something is off, 9 times out of 10, there's something off, right? But beyond that, I'm like, okay, well, if you get this hormone test done, right, and you invest in it, what are you going to do about it? And a lot of you don't even know. So that's where the second best practice for confidently investing in your health comes from, which is being intentional. So once you've made a decision about what it is you want to do and why it is you want to do it, you have to intentionally create a plan or take some type of action to help yourself. A lot of you are walking around with comorbidities, pre-existing conditions, and you know that you're walking around with these things. However, you do not actually align your behavior with somebody who wants to be in an optimal state of health. What you choose to do instead may be to be hot and cold with it. You're like, I'll give the 80-20. And listen, I'm not saying you have to be all or nothing, but what I'm saying is if you want to confidently invest in your health, being a bit all or nothing actually will serve you in so many ways that being hot and cold, 80/20, will not. Okay. Now, listen, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm always all in all the time when I'm making decisions. Sometimes there's a little bit of fear, but I take the leap anyways. But when it comes to your health, at this point in time, don't play with it, don't play with it, don't play with it. Look, mommy, don't play with it, okay? I know that you know your health is your wealth. I know you know that, but I think we've gotten to a place in time in society where people are so complacent and so comfortable and so okay with mediocrity in so many levels of their life, but especially when it comes to like their health, they're okay with like the bare minimum. And I'm like, don't do that. Don't be that way because you deserve more, right? I want you living your best life, period, dot, end of story. And I want you in an optimal state of health. Well, in order to live your best life and achieve an optimal state of health, you have to be intentional with the habits that you have, regardless of what habits they are. Whether you're doing the habit stacking that I teach in the Cycle Support Planner, or you're doing habit stacking that matches your life more, whichever it is, I don't care, right? Be intentional about what you're doing so you can get the results that you want. And the last thing is to be realistic. The reason that I put be realistic here is because we are in the day and age where everyone wants to be delusional, and that's all well and good. You want to believe that miracles can happen because they can. But a lot of you are also not managing certain expectations. I want you to take a real good look at yourself and your life. I want you to think about maybe how long you have dealt with discomfort for your period. Okay? Maybe you've dealt with period pain for 14 years of your life. Okay? At least give yourself 14 weeks, 14 months, or maybe a 14-year span of time, maybe 14 cycles before you see certain changes. Okay, I think that we're quick to extend grace when it comes to our mental health, but we're not quick to extend grace when it comes to our physical health. And if you can be realistic and managing your expectations and certain timelines when it comes to your health and well being, you will feel more confident in investing in your health, honestly and truly. Okay. Now, I want to go ahead and walk you through a recent example of me investing in my health. Okay. So recently, I spent about, I think it was just under $200 on supplements from a brand called Symbiotica. You guys, I have wanted to try Symbiotica for a very, very long time, but I was just like, are these really top tier supplements? Or am I getting caught up in the hype? Am I getting caught up in the Dismo crib? Like, what is it? What is it? Is it really this great? So for me, I knew I really wanted to invest in Symbiotica, but I didn't know why. And I honestly wasn't clear as to what it is I wanted, right? So what I did was I waited. I have waited for probably 2 years before investing. Okay. And then I finally bit the bullet at the end of March and just decided to do it because I was like, you know what? This will have an ROI. Whether the ROI is me telling a story, saying like, this isn't really worth it, or me just sharing how I've been optimizing my brain health or whatever it is, right? That's why I just took some time and I was like, we're going to do this. There is a ROI. It's just all about perspective. So I made the decision to invest in the Symbiotica supplements for three reasons. One, I was clear about why I was investing in it and what it is I wanted from it. I invested in Symbiotica because I wanted to focus on brain health for quarter 2 of my wellness journey this year. I knew that's what I wanted. I was clear about what I wanted and why I wanted it, okay? Then I sat with myself and got intentional about building it into my routine. So every morning, I start my morning with my cloudy hydrogen water. If you saw my Instagram post about like 3 beverages I drink for hormone health that are not matcha or like think I said it's like not matcha and not lemon water. You know exactly what video I'm talking about. So, my cloudy hydrogen water, which is molecular hydration, it has something called elemental magnesium in it, which really helps with managing like free radicals and getting enough antioxidants into the body, but also managing your stress, right? Oxidative stress. So, that was like, I start my morning with that. Then from there, about 30 minutes later, I'll follow up with my bone broth, and then I'll follow up with my blueberry juice. Once I've had those three beverages, I then have my vitamins, okay? So I take vitamin D3, K2, and CoQ10. That's one of the ones that I take from Symbiotica. And I take it because it's really good for cardiovascular health, metabolic health, skin health, and your bone metabolism, but also proper brain function. Okay. So I take that. And then after I've taken that, I'll wait a little bit and then I will move on to the next thing that I like to take, which are my B vitamins. Okay. Now, again, we all know B vitamins help with everything under the sun, but specifically vitamin B12 and B6. This is going to boost the energy, improve the mood, and really support overall heart and cardiovascular health. And of course, proper brain function and cellular detoxification. Okay? Now, that's what I do in the morning. I also have the mineral shilajit, which I have not added into my routine yet. And I also have the magnesium L-threonate, okay? The magnesium L-threonate is something that I actually, it depends on how I'm feeling, but sometimes I'll take it in the morning to boost the brain power, balance the mood, and calm my nervous system and improve my memory. Or I'll take it in the evening. And the reason I'll take it in the evening is so that I can get deeper sleep and really help my brain as I am sleeping. Like, I have a problem sometimes remembering my dreams, which means I'm not getting the proper amount of sleep. So this actually helps me get more sleep personally. Okay. So my intention for taking those things from Symbiotica is to improve the one thing I'm clear about. I want to improve my cognitive health and well-being. And just in case you forgot, your menstrual cycle starts in your brain. So while everybody's telling you to focus on gut health, you also need to be talking about and focusing on cognitive health. And because I'm at a certain point in my journey where my gut health is pretty pristine, I can focus happily on my cognitive health and not be overwhelmed, right? So I am very intentional about what it is I'm taking and why it is I'm taking it. I'm very clear about it and I'm realistic. I know that I'm not going to see the changes immediately, okay? I know for a fact I have to give myself at least 90 days of this regimen for me to really get the full effect. Why do I know that? Because my body tells me everything in a 90-day cycle, just like your body pretty much does. Now, there are certain things I've noticed happen a lot faster. Like, I notice I'm getting deeper sleep and I have a calmer mood. I notice that, like, I'm a lot more tolerant of certain things throughout different phases of my cycle because I'm like comparing those things, right? In my cycle support planner, I do my PMS progress report just like you do. And I can tell when I'm like, I usually hang out between a 2 and a 5 when it comes to like my mood and my energy, depending on my cycle. But I can tell, like, this past cycle, for instance, after I'm going on about 3 weeks of doing this specific supplement routine in conjunction with other things I'm taking from Semaine, but I'm noticing like I just feel a lot better, a lot clearer, a lot lighter, right? Now, again, I'm realistic because I know that supplementation is in addition to what I'm currently doing, and it'll take a second for it to show up in my life. It's just normal, right? But again, I was on the fence about investing that $200, okay? But I also got clear about why I wanted to invest it and what it was I wanted to invest in. I got intentional about integrating it into my actual routine because oftentimes people are like, I'm setting the intention for a great day. What is the plan of action? That is what intention is about. And I'm realistic about seeing certain results. Now, I really hope this has helped you kind of realize that when it comes to investing in your health and doing it from a confident space, it's super important to be clear about what you want, why you want it, be intentional about integrating it into your actual day-to-day routine and life, and being realistic about managing your timelines. I really hope this has helped you just kind of get clear about what it is you want to invest in when it comes to your health and well-being. Now, naturally, I will definitely tell you one of the best investments you can make in your health and well-being is simply understanding your hormones and knowing how to optimize your health through utilizing your menstrual cycle as a blueprint. And if that sounds like something you're super into, make sure you head over to optimizeyourflow.com and invest in one of the workshops, or invest in one of the guides, or better yet, invest in the cycle support planner, because it's one of my favorite tools and resources. Again, I hope this has been supportive to you. And as always, I'm sending you big love and flowy vibes. Love you, mean it. Hey friend, if you enjoyed today's episode, can you do me a solid and leave a rating and review? And if you have some friends going through a different period of life where they want a little bit more peace, or perhaps they just want a better period, make sure you share this with them, because here we're all about having a period and a life, an enjoyable one at that. As always, I'm sending big love and flowy vibes.